Hi everyone, I'm out here in the garden tonight doing some weeding and a little bit of trimming of some of my plants, and I thought I would share some tips with you on how to keep your zucchini plants growing all season through. And for those of you who have ever grown zucchini or any kind of squash, you know that this is a very typical scene. The leaves start to grow really big and they pretty much overshadow the plant and every plant around it. So I want to show you how I go in and just trim my plant down. You can see how large this zucchini plant is, and this is the plant that was next to it that was the same size, and I've trimmed it down. Now you notice how from this view here you can see the flowers, and that's really a good rule of thumb. These plants don't need to have 2-3 dozen leaves on them. They really just need a few good leaves to catch the sun, and you want to make sure that all of those beautiful flowers can see light. You don't want them covered by a whole bunch of leaves. So that's what I've been doing here tonight. I've been just kind of going in, and what I'll do first is I'll find the leaves that are closest to the ground, and I'll use a nice clean pair of shears, and I'll nip the ones closest to the ground first, because you always run the risk of disease when your leaves grow very close to the ground like that. And the same thing with your fruits. You'll notice that if you let leaves grow too much and they overshadow the fruits, then they sometimes will start to rot before they finish growing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go through and trim away all of these leaves that are blocking the sunlight from coming in. Just give them a nice clean cut. And of course, if you see any leaves that are damaged, I'm going to give you a quick look in here. You see those fruits in there? They died on the vine. I want to clean those out because those will start to rot. And look at that. Can you see that? They'll literally start to rot in there. And they'll attract flies and who knows what else. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep trimming this up. I'm going to get all of these leaves that are growing down here on the ground, and I'm going to just trim them. Careful not to damage any of the fruit. I'll go back around and pull those out after the fact, but I want to take this one out too, because this one literally is covering the fruit here. And like I said, you want to make sure that they can all see the sunlight. This is better already, but there are some leaves that kind of stretched out all the way over here, and they're trying to cover my pepper plants, and they're encroaching on the space for my eggplant. So I'm going to trim them all up, and I'll come back in a minute and show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're done trimming this plant, and some of these leaves were just really so long. Look how long this leaf is. Can you see this? And it literally stretched across the entire plant, was covering the peppers. And I just want to show you in here also. So this is where this plant went into the ground, and then follow this stem all the way down, all the way around, and all the way to here. And so when the leaves continue to grow the way they were, they create a long viney-like stalk on it. And the wind will take these leaves almost like a sail and blow them in one direction or another. And it's very common if you're not careful. You see how roots are exposed here? Very common for these plants to get uprooted. And I have lost entire zucchini plants without warning. And so when I see this, what I'm going to do is just mound the dirt back up around the roots so that they're not exposed. And by keeping those leaves trim, I will give this plant the best chance it has to live all summer long and produce fruit after fruit after fruit. That's it, guys. Hope this was some useful information for you, and I hope you guys are having a great gardening season like we are here in New Jersey.